We live, people. Deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Good evening to those of you over in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and the appropriate greetings according to wherever the rest of you are in this time zone. Every day I do a live stream, I'm seeing a new country or a different region come across my stuff, and I really appreciate it. Football is a very diverse sport, and I think it's reflected in the multicultural we have on the pitch and obviously in terms of our fan base. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well and safe. It's Friday, only 24 hours, or in fact less than that, since Arsenal till Arsenal, if you're an Arsenal fan, play tomorrow. So yeah, like I said, I hope you are well and safe. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We had quite a great stream yesterday. Well, I say yesterday, a few hours ago. It's been a long day, people. A few hours ago, there was over 1,000 of you. There's over 1,000 likes. So I'm really appreciative. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, because it really does make the difference and make the world of difference. Also, tomorrow, like I said, it's Southampton versus Arsenal. I'll be live streaming, doing my live watch along. So if you're interested in that, check out the pinned message in the live chat. There's a link there, and you know what to do, people. Please make sure you hit the like button on that one. Open up another tab. Also set your reminders. 22 of you in here, so we're up to a good start. We've only been here for a minute or so. Like I said, I hope you're all doing well and safe. 16 likes so far. Let's get that all up there. Who have we got here? Godspeed in all you do, DG from Roxville, Maryland. Big up all the American ones. I appreciate you. T, good vibes, man. Thank you very much. But yeah, it's evening time. I hope you're all doing well and safe, like I said. And, Arsenal fans were excited about the signing of Martin Ødegaard in particular. He's only going to be loaned or borrowed to us. We know there's a creative void, and we're lacking extreme creativity within our football team. So Ødegaard, even if it is just on a short-term loan, we know that can make the difference. I can't imagine not too many of you know. You guys already know what most media outlets are saying in that Ødegaard. He will be an Arsenal player on loan. It's just a case of formalities. Everything I read, at this moment in time of doing this live stream, I don't know if he's still in Madrid, but I haven't seen anything to suggest he's taken a plane. So while I think we're progressing and seeing him, obviously he will be an Arsenal player by God's grace, based on reports. In terms of signing, dotting I's and crossing T's, I wouldn't say we've got a long way to go, but it feels that there's a long way yet before this signing happens. Now, I hope it's confirmed in the evening or around these times, but just based on what I've heard and what you can see online that's available to the common fan like myself, I can't see anything to say he's traveled and whatnot. Of course, he doesn't necessarily need to make his way to London to sign documents. He does need to play. So I'm not too sure where we're at with him, but we keep moving. And also, the deal probably will get done. Let me swap my screens. Big up to Charles Watts. He's an Arsenal oracle like the rest of them. Him, Chris Wheatley, James Baines, the rest of them, all of the David Ornstein, they all do it. I'm not going to open the article and things like that, people. In fact, I might just to give you the real latest. But as you can see here, Charles Watts is saying Arsenal are pushing ahead with the Ødegaard deal. Growing belief that he'll pick Arsenal, but sources still saying work to be done before anything is concluded. So maybe there's some red tape again. Are we going to play a loan fee? Are we not going to? Because I would say to Madrid, I'd be trying to be crafty. You don't get. I'd say, listen, we'll take him, but we have given you a bit of good faith. We've got a little relationship here. We might come back to you in the summer for another loan player. Us have him on a free loan thing. That might happen, that might not. We probably will have to pay a loan fee. Of course, there's all different I's and T's that need to be jotted. I'm sure even though he's only coming on loan, there will be medical checks. It's a shame that there's at this moment in time, there's going to be no option to buy, but who knows? And you can actually see, you lot can see what I was listed to it. Hey man, I love their music tunes there. But moving forward, and actually not away with DG's music collection. Where did that go? Again, not to go over the same stuff, because I know a lot of you were here in the other live stream, and please check out the previous one that was here a few hours ago. But as you can see, Charles Watts is saying Arsenal hopeful over Ødegaard loan as Real Madrid talks advance. As we know, it seems that we've beaten Sociedad, Ajax, Seville, and all these other teams that allegedly have been interested in him, to the signature of the 22-year-old Norway international on a temporary basis. He's only played 10 times for Real Madrid. From everything you can read, it seems that he's forced to move versus the other way around. Again, there's probably a lot of people and a lot of outlets you read, they don't think Zidane is going to be the gaffer come the summer. So again, maybe Ødegaard is saying, you know what, this guy is not playing me, even if I've had a good season at Sociedad. I'm going to go out loan for a couple of months. A new manager, new opinions. I might win his trust. But as you can see, people, it looks like head into us after going off course from what looked at a time to be a Real Sociedad thing. And in the same way, I think it's going to be done. But in the same way, it appears that Real Sociedad, we threw a spanner in their works. What if another team throws a spanner in the works, people? But either way, Arsenal have now moved to the front of the queue for Ødegaard. He's been granted permission to leave this month in order to get regular game time. We already know operate on the flanks as well as a 10. He's made 10 appearances in total, 9 in the league, I believe. He's only made 3 starts in La Liga. And as we all know, he started off the season well. He came off the back of a good season at Sociedad. He got in the lineup. He has had some injuries. I don't know if it was just injuries. I don't know if it's the manager's thinking, but he found his way quickly out of the lineup, people. So it is what it is. Obviously, we'll have someone in relation to Smith Rowe. Arteta, at least at this moment in time, as you said, I cannot comment on players that play for other clubs. We're looking at various positions because the movements that we've made in this market with some players leaving leaves us a bit short. So obviously we're looking to bring in a left back. We'll cover Ryan Bertrand in a second, people. Obviously we've been linked with Ødegaard, and he said this prior to actually all of this started to come out, and obviously the Matt Ryan deal and things like that. So again, at least at this moment in time, I thought based on the initial language we heard, we would see a faster turnaround in terms of Ødegaard to Arsenal. But again, I guess patience is a virtue, people. So again, in terms of playing against Southampton, he probably won't play in the next 2 games against Southampton. To be fair with you, again, you'd imagine he'll be confirmed by the next time we play them in the Premier League. But at the same time, is it naive to think he'll be involved on the Tuesday? Again, he could have a training session. He could be on the bench. I would want that to happen, but he might not be at the same time. So it is what it is. That's the latest in his regards. Guillaume Balaguer's been speaking as well. And he's allegedly said Real Madrid have blocked Martin Ødegaard's loan to Real Sociedad and want him to actually join Arsenal, says Guillaume Balaguer. Apparently, he said Real Madrid see Real Sociedad as a rival and they don't want to help them. I mean, you gave them last season, and I think it's pretty telling how Real Madrid are falling from grace, with all due respect to Real Madrid and Sociedad, if you see them as a rival. As it goes on to say, but you can't really complain. They are 6th in the table, 3 points off top 4. If they think they are fighting for the same thing, which is Champions League qualification, then it doesn't make sense to strengthen a rival, which in that regards could be true. And Real Sociedad's pain is our gain, really and truly. As it says here, they were hopeful, very hopeful of Ødegaard back, even though David Silva plays in that position. The player preferred to go there because there would be no need for adaptation, and he just wants to play. But Real Madrid prefer Arsenal because of the style, and they believe and because they believe he'll play regularly there as well. Sociedad also now think it will be Arsenal, even though other Premier League teams are interested. So we've heard that before. So it all depends who you read. When you read some, it seems that Ødegaard's picked us over Real Sociedad. Now you see Madrid, then you're hearing Sociedad pulled out. We'll never know, but hopefully it could be the case, people. So again, it seems to be done, but remains to be seen. Should we go on Arsenal? Should we go on Arsenal.com and see if there's any official confirmation? Big up to Matt Ryan for joining the club on loan, but at least at this moment in time, with official Ødegaard confirmation, there isn't anything there. So Sarah, big up yourself for tuning in. But it hasn't been completed yet because there's no official confirmation. So it might be as good as done, but nothing's over until the fat lady sings, essentially, really. So that's the latest in regards to Ødegaard. You can see, people, and we've just read that. So what's the point? Away from that, though, people, and you've actually seen Callum Chambers. Now, Callum Chambers is, I won't say a forgotten man, that'd be a bit disrespectful, but he was playing all right. He got injured, and he somewhat is the forgotten man. Holding's playing well. Maurice came into his own. Saliba, we hope next season can return and challenge for a regular spot in Arsenal colours. Obviously, Gabriel, he might be out of the team now due to other people's good form, but he should have a look in. That's many names. You can't see much minutes for Chambers. I don't mind having Chambers in the squad as part at the club in terms of depth. He runs the risk of, from a selfish point of view, it's good, but he runs the risk of being a jack of all trades, master of none. Earmarked as a centre half long term, he went to Fulham and initially played there, showed more promise in midfield. We know he's played right back for the club and it's not really worked out. Centre half, we've spoke about the clutter that's there. Now he'll have 2 years left on his deal at this moment in time, a year left. So again, this could be someone moved on, but Arteta's said he's not planning a Callum Chambers loan before deadline. Now anything can happen on deadline day. So we'll have to see. Simon Colleagues allegedly has said Mikel Arteta currently has no plans to send Callum Chambers out on loan before the transfer window shuts. So why can't you let Mustafi leave then, Arteta, man? Let him go. Surely, where we've done decent business in the January, surely you can let Mustafi go. And I only say that because we all saw those comments about Mustafi staying. I would have thought it would have been good. You could have got Mustafi out of here as well. David Luiz realistically needs to leave in the summer, as good as he's been of late, and then you'd have a decision to make, and we finally clear the car. I'm not the clutter. I'm not going to tell Mikel Arteta how to manage his squad, but it is what it is. He said in relation to Callum Chambers, I don't think that is going to happen. I'm really happy with Callum. He's gone through a very difficult period. A really difficult period. He has worked so hard. He has looked really good in the last few weeks in training. He's not even thinking about his knee right now. We want to give him minutes when we can because he's a player that we believe in. So maybe he's a player he thinks can be good for the squad. Obviously, with Chambers as well, we need to remember he is homegrown and we need to keep those sort of guys about. So it is what it is. And the article's gone on to talk about Ødegaard and I guess the rest of them, but we're not going to get into that. So Callum Chambers seems to be going on loan. There's actually been talk in relation to Reiss Nelson. As you can see, Mark Mann-Bryans has said Arsenal are looking into a potential championship loan move for Reiss Nelson this month. His game time has dried up and development stalled. Club clearly saw development in Smith Rowe following his stint at Huddersfield. Could be one that progresses in the coming days. And as we come to the close of the transfer window, we have heard talk that the club don't want to loan out Reiss Nelson, and now we've seen that. That means if a feasible offer is put in our table, it's something we'd entertain. For me, of course, I believe Reiss Nelson can get minutes here. I think we could have given him other minutes to young players that Willian's been taking up. I believe in Reiss Nelson, but the facts are, if Ødegaard comes to this club, there's an option of him being played on the right-hand side. And also what we've got to remember, whether you're a winger, left winger, cam, striker, there's only a certain amount of creative or attacking players you can have on the bench. So why one might be a winger and one might be a striker, generally just talking about players, not Ødegaard, all your kind of things interlap. Did you get it, people? So you need to go out on loan. Minutes are currency. I do think there's some good clubs you could go to in the Championship, and you could take, Smith Rowe. Like, I argue that a better loan than Smith Rowe in Germany because Smith Rowe was barely fit, but don't necessarily see it as a step down. Opportunity is what you make it. Smith Rowe could have went to Huddersfield, and it's testament to his mentality. He could have said, I've been at Arsenal, I only want to do this top division thing. I'm now in the middle of Yorkshire. I don't really want to be here. Instead, he rolled up his socks, rolled up his sleeves, and got with it. And now look where he's going, and how much that Huddersfield relegation battle helped him last season. And getting plaudits and getting minutes there could have helped him. I think there's a lot of minutes that of course, I would love Nelson to go to the Premier League initially, Germany, Spain, all of these things if possible. If not, I wouldn't mind him going to the Championship. There's some good defenders to play against. You'd have to, the games are coming thick and fast, in the Championship. So you need to be able to turn it on twice, 3 times potentially within the space of 10 days, twice a week. There's some good clubs. Now, for me, the first club I wouldn't mind him going to is Swansea or Luton, but Swansea because of what they're doing with young players. Obviously, wouldn't mind him going to Brentford. Again, maybe Wayne Rooney can work his magic on him at Derby, but the atmosphere at Derby is a bit toxic. Wouldn't want people wrote off Smith Rowe. Now everybody rates Smith Rowe. People are saying he's overrated and all of these sort of things. And I'm not saying Nelson's going to be a world beater. I'm not saying Nelson's necessarily going to make it here. Not everybody is going to make it here. Not everyone's going to be sort of doing what Martinelli and Saka's doing. Some people have to be squad players and rotation options. Some players have to move on. And I think where Reiss Nelson and the likes of Joe Willock are concerned, yeah, you're part of the squad. But if Arteta is in 5 games to save his job, like let's say that, are you going to be part of the 25-man squad or, the match day squad that he has to play? Probably not. You've had your patches. He believes in you. Go out and go out and play to the potential where you've got no choice. Where you've got no choice but to perform, people. And I think that I still believe in Nelson. I think he can prove people wrong. If he doesn't, fair play. Arsenal need to get top dollar, but I think there's a lot of game time he needs to go and get, man. And he's been starved of minutes. He hasn't really played since December times for us. And just when he looked like he was showing something, obviously he got the injury. So I think there's minutes to be had with Reiss Nelson going out on loan, man. I'd love for him to go to Crystal Palace or something, be with Eze and Zaha and be part of that whole South London clique and it all drilling out. But I think Swansea and Brentford could be good for him. There's a lot of good options in the Championship. What he needs to do is play on a regular basis or train to, because a lot of times when players aren't playing, we always hear they're training well, Again, go somewhere where you can train well, and that might result to getting a look in, Go and complicate things. Go out on loan, and not in a sinister way, but go out on loan, bad it up. So regardless of if Arsenal are in form or not, we look at it and say, oh, look what Reiss Nelson's doing over there. Look at Willian right now. Not that I'm saying we must scapegoat Willian and whatnot, but saying, oh, look what's going on there in the summer. We need to bring in Nelson. He needs to go out on loan. Minutes are currency, and Nelson's of that age now and of that standard where you're not going to improve getting a little 10 minutes and training with the first team. He needs to go out and get proper minutes and play. It's simple as that. Somebody saying freezing. Apologies if I'm freezing. Don't think I am, but yeah, he needs to go out and play. That's the only thing you're going to make you become a dramatically better player. I think Joe Willock would benefit from a loan spell as well. But at the same time, with Joe Willock, even with Ødegaard coming, we need bodies in midfield, actual central midfield bodies. And Joe Willock is a body at the bare minimum, and losing him, we're a bit pressed in that regard. So it is what it is in the relation in that regards, people. So good luck to Reiss Nelson if it happens. Callum Chambers won't be going on loan. Away from that, and keeping up the theme with Callum Chambers, ironically, and speaking about Southampton, people, apparently Arsenal are considering a move for Southampton defender Ryan Bertrand as they look to provide competition for Kieran Tierney. The Gunners boss, I'm not going to read that out, but as you lot know, Mikel Arteta didn't say we're necessarily going to get a chance. We're going to get a left back or have a chance to get a left back. He didn't say we are. He didn't say we're not. So I think the club won't force it. If there's saying that, I don't think the club will force it. But I think the club will be open to it, because on one hand, I wouldn't say we necessarily need one. I think we can really do our scouting and bring in a left back who can potentially compete with Tierney or be competent backup for Tierney, rather than get a stopgap signing which someone that is 31 years of age is. I don't mind the signing of Bertrand in particular, but do we really want to play in this territory? I know Cedric had a good game, but he's yet to probably convince all Arsenal fans. So could we stay clear? Again, it's all about how he carries himself. But just when we're trying, I think when you need this, I think it's better to just, if you can get him on loan, which is unlikely, fair play. If not, can we get a lesser profile who's got a bit more 8 years in the tank? Because again, every time it feels you do need age, and you can't have, your squad can't be too old, it can't be too young. But I think we need to find balance here. On one hand, I get why the club would see an option with this. He's Premier League proven. I hate to be that. He's 31. He's played a hell of a lot of time in the Premier League. He actually plays for Southampton but lives in London, so there isn't too much to be done in that regards. Maybe being in London on a proper full-time basis will appeal to Ryan at 31 years of age. As you lot know, he enters the last 6 months of his contract, and like Danny Ings, there's talk of how he wants more wages, wants to play at a higher level. Again, I saw earlier when I saw his name linked, apparently he wants to move to a Champions League club. So maybe just the fact that he wants to leave Southampton and Arsenal need a left back is why his name's being thrown around. But I mean, you look at a lot of statements coming out from the club. It looks like there's genuine interest in Ryan Bertrand, and we've broken through and made contact allegedly with his agents or advisors or people acting on behalf of his people. So on one hand, I get it. I get it. Again, we want a left back. We want a left back. At the same time, we've got Saka, we've got Maitland-Niles, Cedric at a push could be thrown there. We've got options, but realistically, you want Saka to continue playing forward. Maitland-Niles, if anything, you want to see him playing on the right hand side and playing more convincingly there. So I get going for a fullback, and maybe it would push it. Ryan Bertrand is central to Hassan Hutton and Southampton's plan, so they're not going to let him go easy. So in the last final 6 months, they might say, do you know what, rather than disrupt what we're doing, you can leave, but you can leave in the summer or whenever your contract is finished. You're staying here and whatnot. It's ironic because both teams are meeting tomorrow, so maybe that's the time for both. What better time for advisors and decision makers to sit together and see if there's feasibility of this deal. Obviously, it does have similarities for obvious reasons with bringing in Cedric, ironically, 12 months ago. Or we could actually do what we did with Cedric. We might say, listen, we'll take him on loan, but we'll give you a little fee, and he'll be all right. And they might save face with that because they were going to lose Cedric for free, sort of thing. At least they got a loan fee when they did that. So there is something in that regards. As you can see here, people, everybody knows that he still lives in London, people, and he still lives near Chelsea's training ground, so the commute won't be too far. Apparently he's of interest with Leicester as well, who at times play James Justin there. He does very well, but maybe they want someone who's out and out in that regards. As you can see, Hassan Huttel has said that he will only want players who are fully committed to the club to sign new deals. And as you can see, they're in talks with Danny Ings, they're in talks with Alex McCarthy and all of these sort of things. So I'm not too sure if the Ryan Bertrand thing is legit, but it is what it is. And for Bertrand, maybe he says, you know what, I could do that, fair enough. Arsenal are challenging, I can be part of Europe, I can be an experienced player, I can do this, I can do that. Would you want to leave playing regular football to be in a backup? If you can get a 3-year, maybe with an option of a 4th-year deal at Arsenal, why not? I'm sure he will be open to joining Arsenal. I'm sure his first priority is to go somewhere or be offered somewhere where he can play Champions League football. If not, then this is what appeals to him. He's got 6 months left on his deal. He's been capped 9 times for England. He's technically a Champions League winner under Di Matteo. So there is a wealth of experience. As you can see, and rightly so, Southampton are unwilling to break their pay structure to keep him. They face the prospect of losing him and Danny Ings. Apparently, Goal can confirm that Arsenal are keeping close tabs on the situation, and contact has been made with the former Chelsea defenders' representatives about a possible switch to North London. So again, maybe talk of a move is premature, but what if they're talking to his advisors or middlemen, that means they're indirectly seeing the feasibility. How willing is the player willing to come to the club? What sort of contract, what sort of terms, what is he looking at, sort of thing, before we go to Southampton and we say, listen, we'll give you this for him, whatnot. So it is what it is. Once again, as Mikel Arteta said, he didn't say we're going for and he didn't rule it out. He said the option is open and we'll look to see what is available. With the departure of Kola, we are a little bit short with left-footed fullbacks at the moment. We know we can use Maitland-Niles there, we can use Bukayo Saka there, and we can use Cedric Suarez, who has played in that position. So we have options. A natural option to Kieran, obviously we don't, but we can adapt. So again, you can only adapt for so long without going for a natural replacement. Saka's future isn't seen there. Maitland-Niles is a stopgap. Forgot to mention this as well, people. I saw this copied and pasted. I think Gillian Ballagay or Sky Sports had this. In relation to Ødegaard, if he does sign, only 5 players, including Lionel Messi and Santi Cazorla, created more chances than Ødegaard in La Liga last season, and the 22-year-old also ranked in the top 10 for successful dribbles. Now, in isolation, none of that means anything, but that should tell me that I'm not expecting, based on what I see from Ødegaard, I'm not expecting you to be competent defensively. You're going to have to defend. I just see that as someone who can help us try and break low blocks. Simple. Is that really truly a problem we have? Something we have a problem with. No more Joe Willock at the 10. Trust me, Joe Willock is a pivot or nothing else. In relation to Bowler, to be fair with you, you never know what could happen if thrown in. Personally, I don't think he's of the standard. I didn't think he's of the standard at academy level. I don't think he's of the standard seeing his loan spell at Rochdale. But my opinion is not a fact. If he was to play and prove me wrong, of course, I would change my tune. But personally, I don't think that's the case. You just need a left back who can do a job when Tierney needs a rest. I would say a step further. I just want a left back who can genuinely challenge Tierney. I'm not saying, it's 2 of the same caliber, but I want someone that there's not a massive drop off when Tierney's there. Someone that can keep Tierney on his toes, because I don't think Tierney will stagnate. But one has to wonder, when you're in Leno's position, again, Leno and Tierney are not the same to Bellerin, but again, in the same way that Bellerin, he had that free run at that right back spot. And I don't know this. I'm just speaking with you lot and reason. Maybe if Bellerin had someone all them years who was a certified right back in his own right, he had Debussy for a second, Debussy got injured, maybe he would improve more. So I'm looking at it, again, I'm not saying you must have 2 quality players. In an ideal world, we'd love it. And I agree, in an ideal world from a manager, I just want someone who's not going to make up too much of a fuss within reason and can step in. But I want someone that can push Tierney. I don't think Tierney will ever get complacent, but just to make sure there's someone there, is there, obviously it's different for Leno, but maybe with Matt Ryan now, I don't think Matt Ryan could do this, but it's a bit tougher competition than Runarsson. And again, Leno's a top professional, but in life, we all subconsciously or consciously get complacent in many aspects, especially if you're top of the game and someone's playing against you. 9 times out of 10, we all play well with that healthy pressure. Marcel Gia said, I think Joe Willock needs a loan too. He shagged himself. He should go out on loan. It's all fun and games playing Europa League, doing the press conferences, traveling, it's all fun and games, but you're not really making progress. At the end of the day, you're playing for Arsenal Football Club, something I will never do and I aspire to, but the dream can change like that, because right now he's all gear, no idea. What happens if if in an ideal world, what we'd all say, Arsenal brought in 2 midfielders, you're in trouble. We don't know what you are. You know, we don't know specifically what Joe Willock is in midfield. We see a bit of both. We see how he can be used. We see him do well when given a little roadrunner job, but we don't know what he is. And it's alarming because when you look at it, they've not all been 90 minutes, but I always tell you, look, players should aspire to get 100 appearances. Joe Willock's played 76 times for Arsenal. 76 times, maybe even 77 now. I could even be wrong. But at the last time I checked, 76. I still don't know what you are. I believe in Joe, but we need to see building blocks to what you're going to become. Mr. Adlib23 says, Deluded, quick question. Has your opinion changed on Edu? No. Again, not that I had an opinion on Edu, but no. I mean, I ain't really seen nothing. I'll give you, I praise and like I tell you before, I praise and critique fairly. If you're not doing your job, like I think a creative man should have been here or number 8 in the summer, I mention it. If you're doing your job, which allegedly, you know, bringing in Matt Ryan on loan, obviously Ødegaard looks to be happening in getting rid of players, I'll praise you. But at the same time, I'll give you the luxury. Should I praise that or should I say it's reactive? Because again, you're only going for Matt Ryan. Again, Matt Ryan was always going to, I mean, not Matt Ryan, Renderson was always going to be the third choice allegedly. So what happened there? So what happened in the summer with that second choice keeper you wanted? You know, you brought in Matt Ryan. Again, Matt Ryan's had contract issues and all these things. Brighton fans will tell you, but some cynics will say, you know, he got benched at Brighton. Did you bring him in because you thought he was certified? Or was he at a time where you're pressed for money? It's difficult to get deals done. He was someone halfway out the door. And like with Bertrand, Brighton might look at it and say, let's get a loan fee for Donny or something. Again, I don't know for his contract length. Did you necessarily want Ryan? And again, you're going for Matt Ryan. Again, people could say you're going for Matt Ryan because you got Renderson and you saw Renderson's not good, sort of thing. So you're being reactive. We can praise the Ødegaard thing, but we can say again, you failed to do your due diligence and bring in a permanent name. That has resulted in you having to act right now and getting a loan. Because at the same time, you know, I'm sure Ødegaard's first priority is to make it at Madrid. I'm sure in Ødegaard's best scenario, and it helps with all parties, he plays well. Arsenal somehow achieve their goals, whether that's winning trophies or top 4. He plays well. Madrid got, you know, remember he signed the new deal not too long ago at Madrid. Madrid take him back and whatnot. That's great. He's helped us for this season. Madrid have got a player they can make money off or go to their first team. Ødegaard's increased his ranking within football. That's fantastic. But we go back to square one because he's gone. What do we do now? Now we've got Smith Rowe, but then it goes back to the same question mark. So I do praise what he's doing, but let's keep a bit of balance. I'm not saying you're not. So yeah, man. And that was an accident. Someone unmute him, man. Someone unmute him. It weren't me, man. Someone has said, love the content from Iowa. I hope that's how you say it. Lower. Big up yourself in America, nonetheless, my guy. So, yeah, that's it in relation to Ødegaard. So, yeah, big up Edu, but need to see more. Smack my B up. Play on words. You said, if you were offered Ødegaard, Wendy, or Szoboszlai at the start of the window, who do you have taken? Szoboszlai for me personally. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I rate them all, but Szoboszlai for me personally, my dude. D. Brennan has said, big up yourself, DG. New keeper, looks a decent number 2, and that's all we're hoping for. God, in a nice way, you hope he never plays for the club, because in an ideal way, we should have the confidence to know if we need to rest Leno, you know, if we get through to the next round of the FA Cup and we get granted a lesser side, like with all due respect to Wickham, like Spurs did, you can start a Leno. I mean, you can start a Ryan in that game, but in the ideal world, we never have to play Ryan, not because he's a bad keeper, but at the same time, we have the luxury to know, like last season, God forbid, if a madness happens to Leno, sorry, people, back itch there. If a madness happens to Leno, we obviously have a competent keeper, and it depends what statistics you look at. You do see a lot of mistakes. You do see a lot of negative ones, but then you do see a lot of positive ones in terms of ball playing and shot stopping. So yeah, man, I don't mind this. K Swift, the legend, has said, yeah, this spells bad for Willock. He needs to be done out here, as well as Maitland-Niles. Mid is completely dead off. So yeah, deaded off. So yeah, you're not really happy with what you're seeing. Marcel said, young hungry players is what we need right now, with a point to prove. Need to start learning from past mistakes. True, you know. You know what? You know, maybe Marie in theory can cover for Tini, but I think that's dangerous because, as you know, the one thing, for as good as Marie's a good reader of the game, but I think there's nothing wrong with saying this. What we can immediately see is that he lacks a yard or two of pace, to put it nicely. So putting him in a wide area, you can see how that spells problem. You can spell problems. You get it, my guy. So probably not, man. Probably not. I got him in Football Manager, so yeah, he is a good one. You know, I think Ødegaard will play really well with Aubameyang. I think you meant to say. Hopefully, we need our attacking players to start gelling. You know, hopefully Ødegaard can come here and break a low block for me. That's what I want to see. You know, that's something. That's something I want to see really and truly, man. What else are you lot saying? To be fair with you, I don't mind that. You know, I don't. I was thinking that as well. Robertson, I wasn't really taking him in prior to his move at Fulham with AC Milan. I think he could be an okay option as well. Again, need to see a bit more on stupid card. Right, boy, I don't know what happened there, but I think, am I back? Am I back? Yeah, I don't know what happened there, man. Maybe my Wi-Fi is acting up, but yeah, man. Like I said, Robertson's half decent. Robertson's half decent. A man said another like only for you, Sean. I know you love them, Sean. I know you love them, bro. What happened there, man? I don't know what happened there. Apologies. What the hell is happening here, man? It's moving mad. It's moving mad. Am I back? Two decent streams in one day off the back of a fantastic last live stream. I knew it was going to get long for man, but let's see if it's 30 now. If it's not, I'm just going to cut out, man. This is moving. I know what way to wrap it up, really, because I'm getting hot. We've spoken about Ødegaard, Ryan Bertrand, and obviously Ødegaard, Ryan Bertrand, Callum Chambers, and Reiss Nelson is everything we've spoken about, people. A man said you still on dial-up. Yeah, man, I am, bro. I am. Sponsor DG, bro. I need a change, bro. I need a change, man. A man said I made it about to get mean. Not the first time, not the last time. Fair play. Is this calm thing working? Your internet is on shaky ground. Hopefully Arsenal perform better tomorrow, my guy, man. Big up yourself, Ryan. I appreciate you each and every time, man. You always say some positive messages via Twitter, to be fair with you. But yeah, man, assuming this internet allows me to wrap this up, people, I was going to do this in a normal vid. No, I wasn't going to talk about this yet again. But hopefully, and actually, I just closed it. I think I had Adobe open. That could be a reason as to why you're seeing freezing. Something was processing. Hopefully, it's not an internet issue. But hopefully, nothing messes up now. I wanted at the end of this, I wanted to, well, this is for a separate stream. It's Curtis Shaw inspired. So big up my guy, Curtis. Make sure you subscribe to him. I can't imagine you're not. But yeah, he spoke about his feelings and how he feels in relation to Arsenal halfway and all of those sort of things. So it made me think, and better late than never, like, how do I feel? My own personal opinions in relation to Arsenal at the halfway point in the Premier League. Now, I know at the same time, Arsenal is on pause, or Arsenal's Premier League campaign is on pause because we've got to deal with what we need to deal with in the FA Cup. But yeah, man, in relation to where we sit now, hopefully I'm right. At this moment in time, we sit with 8 wins, 8 defeats, 3 draws, 27 points in 10th. Now, whatever way you look at it, you can say we're having a good season. You can focus on, pardon me, our form of recent. You can harp on about the old, or you can choose to employ balance, which I try to do and you lot try to do because you're subscribed to me. You know, we question mark the negative times. We praise us in good times, but we apply balance, and whatever way we look at it, we're not doing good enough in the Premier League, are we? At a time, especially, my guy, somebody said move Smith Rowe above Martinelli. It's in no order, my guy. It's in no order. It's not according to rankings and things. It's just players, in it. Once your name's there, you're good in it. But like I was saying, whatever way you shape it, it's not good enough. It's not, whatever you say, it's not good enough. It's 10th. And then, like I was gonna say before, my man got mad about Smith Rowe, in a season where, you know, where you're kind of frustrated because we're not off the top 4 or top 6 or not in those shouts realistically because we're necessarily better or worse than oppositions or they're better or worse than us. We're there because of that. That could be true. Leicester are a better team than us. City are a better team than us. Liverpool are a better team than us. But in and around that top 4 in terms of the mathematics, we're not in that shout because we have dropped stupid points. Now, we're not Barcelona sort of thing, people. We are going to drop points. But at the same time, it's about how you win playing badly and stuff like that. And I feel when you look, one thing that's annoyed me, I'm really onto Arsenal about how we've started games. We all know sometimes we haven't started it with that intensity and whatnot. And I think that's another issue of mine in that we need second halves to change to change games. But also, ideally, we haven't started games well enough at all. But also, we all admit sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you just have a bad day at the office. Things don't go right. You go a goal behind them things. I haven't really seen us, if any, really claw back too many points from losing positions. I don't think it was from a losing position, or it might have been. I can't remember the Leeds game, people, but it was 1-1, 10 men against Leeds. You know, you found your way back into it after going a goal down to Southampton. That's good occasions, but too many times I haven't. You know, I haven't seen times where, you know, teams like Leicester have been there for the taking at the time. You know, you didn't score goals, and then they you know, Rodgers showed his elite game management. Same with Dean Smith. Same with Nuno. And I think we haven't fought back enough. And obviously, we know we're not scoring enough goals. You know, of late as well, we've been improving defensively. And big up to us for that, because we're up there for clean sheets. And Leno, I'm happy for Leno now. Obviously, Leno isn't defending himself. It's all a collective unit. You know, in terms of scoring goals, we should start every, our goalie is our first attacker, and in relation to defense, Aubameyang or Lacazette, whoever's through the middle, is our first line of defense. So it's all a collective unit. But last season, and in general since Leno's been here, Leno's had criticisms and he's done stupid stuff. But at times, he has been our man of the match when we've lost three or so nil, sort of thing. And he never got no clean sheets. And I think he deserves it. So yeah, man, before I get into it and explain what the hell is at the top, we'll speak about concerns in a sec, people. You know, I've got a lot of concerns, but, you know, big up to Leno for those 7 clean sheets. Obviously, we lack creativity, and I know Smith Rowe sooner or later will overtake Willian in this, but I think the fact of Willian got these assists in the got 2 of his 3 assists on the first game of the season and 1 against Wolves, which was a long time ago, and he's still currently our top assister in the Premier League. It shows how poor we are, and it shows how much we're lacking creativity and them things there, sort of thing. By no stretch of the, I'm not saying this is mainly for my own thoughts, people. Please stop spamming. This is mainly for my own thoughts, people. I looked at the records, people, and it said Lacazette's on 7 and it said Aubameyang's on 5. Now, obviously, we want Lau at the same time. You know, I'm saying Lacazette I'm saying Aubameyang's having a bad season and he's got 5 goals. He's only 2 behind Laka, who I wouldn't say he's having a good season, but I'm sure many fans can admit, many fans can admit that obviously he's turned it around of late. So it made me think, like I said, I think Laka's having a good season within the context, and I think within the same high standards of Aubameyang on 5 goals, he can do better. But is this correct, really and truly? You know, does it speak the difference in standards and quality between the 2 players, in that, you know, despite the fact that Aubameyang's only 2 goals off, he's got 5, Lacazette's got 7. Is it both of them just not doing enough, people? Has Smith Rowe got 3 assists in the league? Fair play then, you know, because I did think that, but on the Premier League website, it showed me Willian. So I could be wrong. So yeah, these are things I had to say. In terms of best performers and players I've been happy with 9 times out of 10, in no order. I mean, you can't not watch Arsenal and not praise Saka. I think Saka's done well. Gabriel's forgotten man, because, you know, credit to Marie and David Luiz and Holding of late. They've all done quite well. But Gabriel set it from the start. I think Saka, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Leno. Holding is in brackets because, again, Holding goes through good moments of form. So I praise him. I think he's played quite well. But can you make it last? You know, can you make it last? Can you make it persist and things like that? That's why he's there. Smith Rowe, I believe in him, but he's a best performer, but he's just come into this thing of late. He's not really been part of the first team. So there's no critique to him. I'm just looking at it. Dons that we was counting on in August. Shout out to Martinelli, because he's just arrived again, but he's been well. And I think when Marie was finally given his opportunity, he showed what he can do. And unfortunately, he's been injured. Obviously, I have many concerns, people, several concerns. First thing first is there's two wingers, two elephants in the room. He was bought for free, also a free transfer. I'm not going to get into the specifics, just the simple fact is Willian and Pepe should be two of our sort of first choice wingers regardless. I'm not going to get into it whether I believe in Pepe, don't believe in Pepe, believe in Willian, don't believe in Willian. I've offered my opinions. I know you've all had your opinions, so I'm not going to hold on it. All I'm going to say is Willian coming from Chelsea, Premier League winner, all of these sort of things. We're not seeing it. You're not playing, which Saka is playing like the 32-year-old. And in the case of Pepe, again, I said I'm not going to get into the specifics. I'm not seeing £72 million, whether it's the manager or Pepe, Arteta, this guy, that guy, not doing this, needs this, needs that. I don't want to get into it, people. But either way, two elephants in the room, bought for big money, big outlay in terms of a contract for Willian, and things like that, and we can't afford to be carrying players, and something's going to need to be revisited. They're both tied down for this foreseeable future, so something is going to need to change, or it's a madness. Centre midfield options for me, not good enough and still concerning. Like El Nene's had a round of form, Ceballos will probably pick up form, Joe Willock's done all right at stages, but no, apart from Partey, nobody's really certifying that. Smith Rowe's locking down the 10. I don't think we have a proper partner for Partey. Hopefully in the summer that gets addressed. Right back, I still don't really, and again, I'm open to being proved wrong, but at the halfway stage, I'm seeing long term. I'm not really seeing someone looking like they're nailing that down for the long term. I'm just seeing form. Shout out to Cedric, but I've also seen Cedric play badly this season. I love Maitland-Niles personally, but his last game he was appalling, and he's hot and cold. Bellerin's played well in his last few games, but again, he has been hot and cold for the last 3-4 games. He's played well. I also remember against Spurs, against Aston Villa, against Wolves, he struggled in all of these games. Really, 9 times out of 10, he has struggled whenever he's played a 1v1 demon. He's done well against Chelsea. He's done well in moments, and I think Bellerin's really turned his form around. But I'm giving you my honest thoughts. I wanted to see some confirmation at that position. I see 3 men that can play there, that can go through good and bad moments, but I don't see, I'm not saying they have to play to the same standard as Tierney, but I'm not seeing somebody like Tierney as the outstanding long-term choice. You can see him being short, medium, and long-term. I don't see that at right back and right back. It shouldn't be one of those positions we're talking about this. You can scout a right back or do something in that regard so that we're not speaking about it, sort of thing. Obviously, Aubameyang's lack of goals or indifferent form has to be one. And for me personally, I think prior to the form, just our performances at home, because at least back in the days, there used to be a slight contrast between our home and away form, whether it's good or not. I think we've been embarrassing ourselves. Now we've turned a corner. Like I said, let me not say turned the corner, but we've done something. Tactically, my thoughts are as well, we're not really able to win too many games from losing positions, and over 38 games you need to be able to do this. I don't think we've started games well enough generally this season. Out of the games we played so far, these 19 games, I don't think we've started enough and closed them out and smelt blood. But equally, like I said at the start, sometimes you can't always start well. It can't always go your game. Sometimes you're going to play poorly. The other team's playing well. They shock you. They score. You need to prepare. You need to be able to concede that goal and look like you're going to score. I don't think we look like we're going to score when we go a goal down enough, really and truly. For me as well, under Unai Emery, we praised it and then we clocked it. And I'm not using this to attack anyone. We need too many second halves to turn things around, people. And it can go two ways. It either goes like Crystal Palace, where, there's huff and puff. It goes like Leicester this season, where we lost it, where Vardy scored in the 70-odd minute. Or it happens like Newcastle, like the other game in the league, where did we break? Another one is we're still struggling to break down low blocks, people. It should be up there. Low blocks. Tactically, I'm concerned about low blocks. And things like that. Did we break down Newcastle because we realized they were there for the taking and things? Probably, maybe. But on the other hand, could it have been because you go and watch the game again? Newcastle was sitting back way too much in that first half compared to what Steve Bruce said, and then in the second half, they've tried to go forward. Lo and behold, what's a byproduct of that happening, people? Space. When there's space, we can do our thing. So it can't really improve with the personnel we've got. I know Ødegaard's coming in, but we struggle to break down low blocks, and that's probably why we need second halves to turn games around, maybe when other teams get a bit fatigued. Obviously, mentally, it takes us a while as well. Again, we're not going to get there overnight. I still think the silly mistakes are still there, but one positive, I think, Leno deserves his. I'm happy Leno got his clean sheets, and I think there's been an improvement defensively. And of late, you've obviously seen that should be green. You've obviously seen a couple of defenders, whenever they're getting their opportunities, they're making it hard. We're saying, oh, how does Gabriel get back in? No, I'm going with Gabriel and David Luiz. No, it should be David Luiz and Holding. No, it should be Marie and Holding, or Marie and Luiz. Nah, man, Gabriel's our best defender. I rate Marie. I don't care. They're both left-footed. Throw them both in. And that's the positive scenarios you want to have in a good way. I wish we could say that about our attackers. No, you can't play Smith Rowe because Willian is playing all right, or Pepe is doing this, and all of these other things. And Aubameyang, you can't move him because he's scoring goals, And another positive, it's not really tactically, but the Haaland boys, the young players, Haaland and the young Martinelli, they're setting it. They're playing with a point to prove. They understand what it means to play for the fans, to play for the club. And as much as I want people to play for the club and play for the fans and all the rest of it, people, when I remove my emotions, I at least want you to play for yourself. And I see pride in these young players that are playing for this football club. They're not trying to get embarrassed and stuff like that. So they've been the positives. In terms of my unanswered questions, good form of late, but who is the long-term pivot in terms of our defense? And generally, will this form continue? Arsenal, we've gone through good and bad moments. Everything's rosy now. How are we going to react when that first loss comes? How are we going to react going into these difficult games that we have now? I'm not going to read out the fixtures. I need to see, is this just form, or are you turning the corner? Are you prepared to do this meeting in Armageddon thing? You can see you've got United, who are a better team than the team you played when we beat them at their place. You've got the Midlands clubs as well to come. You've got the Benficas to come. You've got Manchester City and all them things there to come. With all due respect, we beat Chelsea, but Brighton, West Bromwich Albion, Newcastle, based on how they've been, any team that wants top four to do these things or aspiring for that, you win these games. Palace, fair play, it happens, innit? But is our form going to continue? And also for me, the form of these players, the names up there, the names that I've previously said, people up here, these are the guys that obviously can have good forms, better form, indifferent, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to lie, Marie and Holding, like I said, they're in special colours, but away from them, with all due respect, these are the only players I really believe in, really, at the football club, like that are going to give me a certain sort of level, with excluding Marie and Holding. Again, I'm not taking anything from Marie and Holding, but are you going to show me a prolonged period? Because I'm liking what I'm seeing by Marie, but he's just got his chance. When you come back, are you going to show me longevity? David Luiz, we've already been knowing he's hot and cold, Bellerin's gone through good and bad moments. Xhaka has gone through good and bad moments. Right now, Xhaka is untouchable. He was everyone's enemy at Spurs. These players go through good bouts of form, but are you going to show me consistently? There isn't too many players, hand on heart, I could say that. I really feel dirty. Aubameyang's name should be among these players I can rely on things, and he is for me. But at the same time, it's when you look at it, he's only 2 behind Lacazette. But again, he's concerning in front of goal. So for me, historically, he's part of this best performance man that I can believe in thing. But right now, this season, it ain't been that. It hasn't been that. So again, long term, am I going to see this continue, sort of thing? There's still some answered questions as well. Willian, what are we doing in that regards? Pepe, if it continues, what are we doing? Lacazette, if with the form he's continuing, certain people say give him a new deal. Nah, look at Aubameyang, don't give him a new deal. So that's technically one as well. Obviously, for me, the key one is, will we get in Europe? Because as much as I think we can qualify for the Europa League, we got to remember last year we messed it up. We got there via the FA Cup. What happens if we don't qualify via the league campaign? We all know that this has many people say, yeah, it could benefit Arsenal only playing once a week, not playing in Europe. I get that. I actually agree with that. But at the same time, we know the financial implications that come with us with Europe, even the club. Were the club happy we won the FA Cup, or was it because of the byproduct you're in Europa League? There's a couple more pennies to scratch around and all of these sort of things. If we're not in Europe, that's going to, whatever. And this is why I want to see the club react. So we always heard, as Arteta said, we're ready to maneuver the market or whatever. I'm sure they're drawing up the paperwork in relation to their summer transfers. Even if, we look at it, Ødegaard and Matt Ryan, if you're looking at it and saying, okay, there's short-term options, we're going to go for a long-term midfielder who can do what Ødegaard's doing and a reliable keeper. We're just going to use these men for now. Sort of, that's planning for the summer. So to a degree, how much changing will you have to do in your summer planning if you don't get Europe? Where there's a good chance of getting Europe now, there's a bad chance of getting it. It's what the players and the club make it, in my opinion. In relation to our games, people, again, obviously, every game we don't get 3 points, I'm gonna think you can do better. I'm gonna think you can improve. I'm gonna think you can show me more and things. I appreciate that, my guy. Premier League website did me dirty, but you didn't. So yeah, they're tied on 3, which also highlights how bad Pepe's been. I mean, Willian's been, sorry, because Willian's been missing. He's not been around, you know, and he's still on 3 assists. But that also tells you the lack of creativity, because where is Smith Rowe 5 minutes ago? 5 minutes ago, he couldn't even get into the playing squad. With all due respect to him, you know, through injuries or whatever. So that's testament to him, but it also highlights again our lack of creativity. Love for obviously doing what the Premier League website did me wrong in regards, people. And like I was saying, in terms of defeats, we're always gonna we can say we could do better. So I don't want to seem like I'm moaning in it, but generally my opinion is you're gonna drop points. You know, it's not about the reputation, but there's only, based on the games I've seen us lose, you know, I'll only say again we could have done better, but I'd be prepared to concede that it is what it is. You know, Liverpool, I think there was a really defeative attitude with playing them in that game, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be too disheartened about losing them. I want to see us win those games, of course, but I'm not going to get myself too down. It is what it is. You probably expected to chalk them off. Now, Leicester are a great team. There's no shame in losing that. But for me, in terms of game management, Arteta let himself down in that game, and the players were very naive, because Leicester were there for the taking in the second half. They recognized what they needed to do well after halftime. We were cold, and as the game went on, you could see Vardy getting space on space, and I'm so sure Mustafi and Bellerin are unaware of where Vardy was for that goal. You cannot switch off against one of the league's most potent gunmen in front of goal. And in August, when I'm talking about changing your mentality and learning these things and stuff, this is a given. I shouldn't have to be talking about this. You know, you lot should not. You know, if you play certain teams, if you can't see a man, you're in problems. How many of you play Power League? You know, one of your boys is a skill star and you're playing in defense on opposite teams. You know, if you turn around and he's running into space and you can't see him, you're effed, you know. So could have done better, you know. These 2 games, fair play, but the Leicester one, yeah, you know, we got savaged. That's meant to say savaged, you know. We got saved, they got saved, but we absolutely, that was terrible, you know. The defeat to Wolves, it weren't 2-1, was it? I don't know why it says 2-1, but when we lost to Wolves, that one there is there as well. I can't even remember the scoreline with Wolves. I'm sure it wasn't 2-1 to Wolves. I don't know what I was doing there. Maybe I was just skim noting and whatnot as I was trying to get ready for you lot. But the Wolves game, regardless, got savaged. Pedro Neto devoured, man. Again, playing poorly. Simply put, playing poorly, just not at it. And again, it's for me, it's the performances at home. They're killing me, you know. It's killing me, you know. I want to see us respect ourselves at home. So I was even more gassed when we beat Chelsea in that regard. Sort of thing. So yeah, moving away from that, Aston Villa, bro, like savage. That's the only thing. That was a poor game. Absolutely savaged. Absolutely savaged. You lot are saying it was 2-1, so yeah, maybe I should believe in myself in that regards. All right, cool. Oh yeah, Gabriel did score a header. So while I can't remember that, I can remember sort of vague moments. So yes, what is there to say? Aston Villa got savaged. It was poor. They know it's poor. You lot know it's poor. We don't need to continue with that game. Individuals got savaged. Collectively weren't at it. These are the games you need to be at it. You know. Apologies, people. Apologies, I'm getting a call. So if you heard that vibration, sort of thing. Spurs again, very tactically naive. It was like, you know, when you play with your little nieces and nephews and you got a chocolate and you tell them to come get the chocolate and you grab their arm or something. That's what Jose Mourinho was doing to us. You could see it. And again, it highlighted the tactical naivety for me of the team, you know. Spurs, it was candy from a baby. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. So it was candy from a baby, essentially. I've got a super chat. Apologies, people. Big up yourself, Jay Torres. You said, big up Deluded. My first time tuning into you stream. Today's my first day. Big up my bro Curtis. And shout out from California, all love, bro. Big up the Cali gang, big up yourself, and love for, you know, breaking your Deluded live stream. Love to have you back. Make sure you're here for the watch along tomorrow, and for all of you lot, 11:30 a.m. UK time. Work out whatever that is to you lot's time zone. But back to this. One love for the super chat, my guy. Going back to this, you know, very naive. Got savaged against Aston Villa. Just stupid. Again, I saw a bunch of immaturity from our manager and immaturity from the players in that 2-1 defeat against Everton. You know, again, we let ourselves down for set pieces, which I thought we improved this season under against Burnley. So again, I'm always going to sound a bit sour, but too many of these games, we were just costing ourselves, making cheap mistakes, just handing teams points, sort of thing. You know, in terms of the wins this season, you know, again, maybe at the West Ham game was a sign of things to come, because we did need a late winner from Nketiah, like when we needed it against Leicester in the cup. good win. Sometimes you've got to do those things, but maybe that was a sign of things to come. You know, if we played Fulham tomorrow, we're playing a different team, but fair play. We could only play us in front of them. Start of the season, it was a very good performance. I give us credit for Chelsea. You know, we conceded a goal, but we completely outclassed them. You know, that's meant to be United. It's fair play again. If we played United tomorrow, it's a different team. But end of the day, we ain't won there since 2006. We did what we needed to do in that regards, people. When we played a quality performance, you know, Brighton, we beat Brighton 1-0. Probably want to score a bit more goals. Did our job. West Bromwich Albion was good, and obviously the young players, like you've seen in the last 4 or 5 games or whatever, the young players again have been showing people how to do it. So mainly the wins of late. Oh, what's that? What's going on there? I don't know what that was all about, but let's just leave that there. Don't know what I was doing. The draws, you know, Crystal Palace, you could say that's 1 point drop, 2 points gains based on in the first half, 38 from 41st minute, if I remember correctly, they had better chances to score than us. So depending on how you look at that, you could say that's 2 points dropped, a point gains, but I see it as 2 points dropped, 3 points dropped. Apologies, we did gain a point. Obviously, it's similar because again, we did get man sent off, but we were never in that Leeds game, people. So similar to the Palace game, could be 2 points dropped, 1 point gained. You know, you can look at it and say we didn't start well and we was very reactive, or you can say, okay, Pepe got himself sent off, we got a point. Bielsa's a mad team to play against, which is true. So either way, it's dropping points. You know, all I would say to you lot watching that game again, would you say, you know, did we do everything we could do to win those games? Did we play in the right way? It is what it is in that regards, people. So that's that. Southampton, you know, against Southampton, once again, we didn't start the game well. We didn't follow runners. Go and look at people. I don't lie to you lot. Go and look at the goal we conceded with Theo Walcott. So again, not starting well, being very reactive. Ironically, credit where due. When I look at the Leeds game, fair play. I can't remember if we scored first against Leeds. I don't remember. But in the Leeds game, Southampton game, definitely, for sure. Not sure on the Palace game. We've actually got a point, some sort of point from a losing position. So I'll give us credit. That's one of the rare times we've done that. In terms of the good things I think I've had mid-season so far, the young players really, you know, Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe. I think the new signings have gelled very quickly. Obviously, bar Runnison, you know, Partey in his minutes has shown his levels. Gabriel has shown his levels. You know, even Cedric of late, he's coming to his own. You know, William, bro, mad. Did you know what? Is it even a scamming thing? Did we get scammed on William, or did man just bug it? You know, man just bugged it. Sorry, it was 0-0. Yeah, I'm bugging out with the Leeds game. Apologies, it was 0-0. I've done this all from memory, my guy. Allow me, man. I tried, man. So yeah, either way, we didn't score in it. We did well to get ourselves in the game and walk out of it at 0-0. So apologies on that one. So yeah, like I said, young players doing their things. New signings gelling very quickly. Bar Runnison, who's not levels. Obviously, we're starting to. This is mainly based off this month. You know, we're removing players off the wage bill or players that ain't got a future. We're doing just a bit, but in true Arsenal fashion, we're probably going to replace them with similar duds, even though I don't want it to happen. I think we have been very unlucky with injuries this season, and we've reacted at times quite well. We're still struggling to break down low blocks, and that will make or break our season, in my opinion, beyond the obvious. I still think we're relying on individuals way too much, and young individuals in that regards even more so. And we've not, because we ain't really certified like that, we've not really been able to rotate, you know, saving Leno, saving more so the Tierney's and things like that. So yeah, man, that's how I feel in relation to the season so far, people. It is what it is. Yeah, whatever you said. DG and Curtis have the best Arsenal channels by far. Big up my guy Curtis, and love for the praise, man. True. Bro, he needs people to receive the ball, man, because I don't want to see Smith Rowe and Ødegaard and all these guys on the field and still having to drop deep. It's a collective effort to break low blocks, people. So yeah, to be fair with you, you hear Arteta wants it, you hear Eddie wanted it, you hear they both want it. So I'm gonna just put both of them. Either way, it's a mad thing, really and truly. And this is the problem as well. You know, we have no left flank. You can get away with Saka there, but it's not really the thing, ideally, for Bukayo Saka. So yeah, man, that's what I feel, really, really and truly. So yeah, man, on that note though, we've just shy of an hour. I can't lie, I'm gonna get out of here, people. A promise is a promise. I said I'll be back here this evening. We've got a big day tomorrow, you know, just for a rough idea on the amount of work there is to do. There'll be a live stream. So that obviously means live watch along. That means reaction. That means clipping up shorter clips for those that can't be on the watch alongs. That means immediately watching, you know, the game again, and the next day providing you your analytical, my tactical analysis. Obviously, the 23s and 18s will be playing, so it is what it is. Fresh Princess said, "When's the trim coming, bro? You see any barbers open? Any barbers open in England? I'd love to have a trim, man. You know, if your girlfriend wants to trim me, if she can do a skin fade, fair play. But it is what it is, man." Bro, I can't do the would have, should have, and whatnot. And to be fair to you, for me, injuries, you're gonna have injuries. You're gonna have injuries to key players. There's gotta be games. I feel you 100%, but that woulda, could have, should have. It's not gonna get us anywhere. There's where you should expect Partey to be injured, Aubameyang to be injured, and the team still has to pull across people. Still has to pull across. Our man said just shave it all off. With what's facial hair, bro? Man's gonna look like some black beanhead Benjamin Button if I shave off my headpiece and go bald. Allow me, man. That's rubbed. Well, good suggestion though, man. Good content as usual. The marquee on the bottom is proper clean. Small little things. I thought, let me bring it, man. It gasses you lot in it. Like, let me try the little Sky Sports thing. Make sure you don't forget to hit the like button. But yeah, man, we're literally an hour in. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I actually want to shower, people. I can't lie to you lot, and I'll be back again. But there's a lot of work to do this weekend. Let me have the rest of Friday off. On that note, Deluded, I'm out. Have a good one, people, and I'll see you again.